Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time since we have sat down and chit-chatted with each other, but today I do want to do a very specific type of video. So I am a college student. I'm actually in my third year. I am a junior in college, which feels absolutely so crazy to say. I'm also an online student as well, so I kind of feel like at this point, like I really get the gist of college, you know. I have been around a lot of people who, you know, go in person, but I also know from experience how it feels to do online. I know a lot of my viewers are probably in college or in high school, and maybe you guys have some questions of some things you're trying to figure out, or you're trying to apply to colleges and figure out kind of what you need and want to do. So I did ask you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions, and I feel like this is like the most questions I've been asked about a topic in like a really long time now. We got so many responses for this, so I'm super excited to get into it and answer some of you guys' questions. I'm going to avoid talking about myself as much as possible because I rather, you know, offer some more things for you guys than to just sit here and talk about myself. So very quickly, I'll just explain to you guys. So yes, I am a junior in college. I am almost done completing my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Once I get that, I am going to go back to school and get my master's degree in counseling. So that is about the gist of everything about me. That is my plan. It took me a very long time to figure out. So if you feel stressed, don't feel stressed. I literally just figured out like a month ago exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm in my third year of college. And there is a huge expectation that, you know, you're 17, 18 years old, you graduate high school, you're supposed to know exactly what you want to do, and you're supposed to go to college, you're supposed to get your degree and then have your life all figured out. That literally hardly and very rarely happens for people. So if you're in that position right now, or if you're even in college and you're 2 years in and you're like, I hate my degree, I don't want to do this, there are options for you. Trust me, there is no reason to be afraid. I get the stress of it, I get the feelings behind it, but I promise you, you will get to where you need to get to. So with that information about me and a little bit of advice, let's go ahead and answer the first question from a fan. So the first question is, would I recommend doing online school? Yes or no? And if so, why? I have answered this question for a lot of people in my lifetime because sometimes I feel like I'm literally the queen of online school. I did my junior year, my senior year of high school, and then all 3 years of college so far completely online. And obviously I went in person for school the other remainder of my life. So I have a good idea of a mix of both. I believe that ever since COVID, online school is a huge thing now. I feel like almost every person I run into, they do online classes, whether that's like 2 online classes and then the rest in person. Like, so many people are doing online. So what I kind of have to say is when it comes to making that decision of, you know, whether you want to go in person or whether you want to do online or whether you want to do a mix of both, it really depends on like who you are as a person. And if you don't quite know that yet, I think it would be a good idea to kind of try out a mix of both. So for me, I kind of feel like I'm more of an independent, like own pace type of person, and I feel like that probably came from like doing YouTube. Like, I'm used to doing things on my own time and, you know, choosing when I do things and choosing when I have free time and stuff like that. So if you are that type of person and you know that you would be able to like stay on top of things and be able to get ahead and manage your time efficiently, then online school would be great for you if that's something you are interested in. I think another thing that is super important, and I notice this more as I get older, is that social interaction is super important. So if you are the type of person where like, you know, you don't really spend much time hanging out with friends, like you prefer to be like a homebody and maybe like, you know, just do things at home. Like maybe you like to watch shows, maybe you like to play video games. Like you don't really have many opportunities to socially interact with people. If you are that type of person, I would say it would be a smart decision to really push yourself and try to go to school, whether that's like part-time or full-time. I just think it would be a great choice because social interaction is so important, and I think that's one big problem with online school is a lot of people are now lacking in that because it's not as available, you know? But yeah, so those are like 2 factors that I would consider are like the type of person that you are. Like, how do you work? Do you work better like, you know, learning material on your own, or do you learn better by, you know, someone in front of you teaching you something? So you really just have to determine like, you know, what ways do you learn in, and how do you do in a classroom? How do you do at home? Like, are you able to keep on top of things? Like, you really just have to figure out all of those answers for yourself, and then once you do, it's easier to make a decision. I think online school is very, very amazing. I personally love it. I think that, you know, I'm just able to manage my time and figure things out for myself. And, you know, I love being independent, and that's just the biggest thing for me, is doing online school is very, very independent. So if you are that way, then you know what your options are. But then again, my best friend Josie, she does 3 classes online and 1 class in person. And she says that she regrets not doing more classes in person because she loves going to class. Like, she loves being like at the university and just like having that experience. Like, just really, really loves it. So once again, it depends on the type of person you are. I personally would be okay with never having to go to my school in person, like literally ever. And it's just a preference thing. So yeah, I would recommend it, but you really have to think about what is best for you when it comes to making that decision. Period. Another question that people are asking me is like, do I meet with my teachers? Like, is there like a live that I'm required to join and stuff like that? So there are 100% options like that. Once again, it depends on your school. It depends on what classes you choose. So like, if you do like learning directly from a professor, but you do want to do online school, there are classes that you can join where maybe there's a Zoom 2 times a week. Like, it's basically like being in person, but it's just happening like from a computer, like at home. But the classes that I take are completely independent. Most of my teachers I've never even seen before. I mean, they post lectures and stuff that you can watch, but not all teachers do that. So my classes are like 100% online, but I know there are online classes out there where you do and are required to meet with your teacher via live video. Once again, that option is out there for you to consider and think about as well. You want to do online school, but you still think it's important to, you know, talk to your professor and learn from them. That option is there. The next question is, what program do you use and how does it work? So the program that University of Toledo uses, which is the school that I go to, I never mentioned that, is Blackboard. It's honestly an interesting platform. I feel like it's definitely something that you kind of just get used to. I remember on like my first day, I was like, what the heck is this? Why is it so complicated? But the way that it's kind of set up, and I'll talk about this very quickly, is there's kind of like these different sections just for each class. And so when you click on each class, each teacher can kind of have it set up in like a different way. So let's say you click on your math class. Your math teacher might have like this section over here, I hope this is not complicated, that's like weekly assignments, quizzes, exams, syllabus, and blah, blah, blah. And then you go on your science teacher, they might just literally have syllabus and assignments. Like, every class is set up completely different. I've had teachers that have like 100 things listed that you have to go through, and teachers that have literally had like the most simple things in the world. So basically that's how my program works. I feel like most college online programs are like quite similar. I don't think Blackboard's like special or, you know, not special. Like I really just think it's like another program. I'm sure other people out there use Blackboard as well. So yeah, that is the program that I use for school. And then another thing that I do use is a Notion profile, which, oh my goodness, Carly talks about this all the time, but it is basically this website where you can personally make like, here's my schedule of assignments for the rest of the year. I'm not going to explain too much on it, but if you do online school, if you do in-person school, I'm telling you, it is a lifesaver. I have a video up on my channel that I actually posted like 2 weeks ago teaching you guys how to make a Notion template for your school. So if you are interested in that, go check that video out. I literally made like a step-by-step tutorial, so y'all should be able to figure it out. How do you not go on your phone while doing work at home? I do go on my phone while I work at home. But all jokes aside, basically I've kind of created this like habit for myself where I typically choose to work ahead. Like, let's say I have an assignment that's due on Saturday, like I'll probably try to start doing it on Tuesday. And let's say like on Tuesday, I'm looking at this assignment, I keep getting distracted by my phone. Every time I try to think about the assignment, like nothing's working through my head. I will literally just immediately shut my computer and be like, today is not my day. And then I try again on Wednesday and maybe the same thing happens, but then Thursday comes around and my critical thinking skills are working perfectly and I can complete the entire assignment like with no problems. So personally for me, when it comes to like my phone and distractions and stuff like that, I kind of just allow myself to do what's comfortable. Like if I'm having a moment where like so many people are texting me, like I can't get off my phone, like that's really what I want to do in that moment, then I just let myself do that. Like I don't think there's an issue with that. So I think if you're struggling with it like really badly, it would be smart to like maybe set some boundaries for yourself. Like, oh, if I'm doing school, I'm gonna go plug my phone in the other room, and once I'm done with my stuff, then I can go get it. Like, if you're struggling, I think that's a smart thing that you can do. But if you have a little bit of like self-control and you can like handle not going on your phone and stuff like that, just definitely, you know, allow yourself to have your free time and go on your phone if you need to, because like no one wants to do school for 5 hours straight without checking social media and stuff. So I don't know, just allow yourself to do what feels best, but do not allow yourself to get behind. And I definitely have had times where, like I just explained, Tuesday I can't do this, I'm at Wednesday I can't, Thursday I can't, and it's due on Saturday and that time approaches and I'm like, I still don't want to do it, but you know, you kind of have to. So that's about the time where I'm like, okay, phone off, other room, like I am doing this because I have to. How do you stay motivated to do it? I have one online class and it is a drag to do. I feel like when it comes to motivation, like especially for school, you kind of have to subject your motivation to something. Like, why are you doing this? You really got to think about that. And when I think about it, here's always my motivation is, my motivation is I want to finish school because I want that degree, and I want that degree because I want to have money, and I want that money because I want to have a house and I want to have a family. So I know that's like way into the future and that's like a lot of thinking, but I think motivation really comes from like a reason for doing something. So if you're struggling to find motivation, just take a second and think like, why am I doing this? I know this sucks, but why am I doing this? And that should kind of help you a little bit. A little thing that I have, which I know I'm talking about Notion again, is my Notion template. It actually gives me so much motivation because I have like an entire checklist of assignments, and each time I check something off, it'll go like 25% complete to 26% complete. And that is like all my assignments for the year. So I am a very scheduled and like organized person. So to see progression being made, like each time I click something to be like, oh, you're a little closer, that really helps me like kind of get through it and like want to do it. Something about just having like a visual representation of like each time you do an assignment you're this much farther helps me. So maybe you need to find like a little thing like that to kind of motivate you a little bit more. Do you think you are as prepared as those who go in person to school? We're learning the same material, so in ways like yes, but also in ways no. But I think that's like completely okay, because I think a lot of people think what you learn in college is literally what you're going to do for a job, which is not true at all. In reality, you go to college, you take a bunch of classes, some of those classes relate to your job and some of them were honestly just a waste of time. Like, don't tell me your religion class is helping you be a police officer, you know? I think that in ways people who go in person might have an advantage because they're directly speaking to someone who is like professionalized in that area, if that makes sense, versus like I'm at home, like I'm not exactly talking to them, I can't ask the questions that I need to ask and stuff like that. But in all reality, a lot of people go to college and you get your degree and then you go off to work your job. Sometimes the things you learned in college don't even necessarily connect to your job very much, and that is okay. I think that people get their degree and then they go get their job, and then once they have their job, that's when they start learning what they need to do. Sure, college helped and it gave you kind of like a core and like the basic things that you need to know to do that, but in all reality, you learn everything that you need to do for your job at your job. So it doesn't necessarily worry me that people in person are like ahead of me or anything like that. I mean, it really depends on how you handle your schoolwork and what you decide to pay attention to and how much you actually want to learn, because I could be at home watching every lecture, taking every quiz, taking notes, really paying attention, and there could be someone in person who's just like cheating and trying to get through it. So I don't really think there's a way to say that, you know, people in person are learning more and becoming more prepared or anything like that. The next question is online school cheaper than in-person school? No, everything is exactly the same price. So, which I think is fair. I mean, you know, I'm doing exactly what the people in person are doing, so I feel like that's fair. Do you get to do all of your exams and tests from home? Do they need to be proctored? So proctored is basically like a lockdown thing where, you know, you can't Google anything, you might be recorded, they might be able to hear you. So I would say about 95% of my classes this far have allowed me to take my exams, take my tests, literally wherever, however, no no supervision at all. Like if I wanted to, I could Google everything, you know, like there is no restrictions, but I have had, I think, 1 or 2 classes now. I had one class that filmed me, recorded my voice and all of that, and then I had another class that just locked down me to that one singular tab. So once again, it really depends. How do you do labs when you were in online school? So I actually had a biology lab last year. It was my spring semester last year, so it was actually in this year. And it was so interesting. I had to go to the school, pick up this huge box of stuff, and they gave me a bunch of lab materials, which they weren't like crazy labs. Like I had a friend who was doing biology in person, and then I was doing biology at home. And she was in her class dissecting frogs and like cutting things open and all that. I was literally at home using pipe cleaners, like making all kinds of stuff. And I literally did like a lab of making gummy bears grow. Like it was kind of stupid, but like, I mean, I learned things from it. Like it was still cool to be able to actually like do interactive stuff, but I would take pictures and then upload them, and then he would grade them that way to make sure we really doing the right thing. So yes, you 100% can do labs from home. I'm online too. How do you manage that with working full-time? I work a 9 to 5 as well. I actually don't work a 9 to 5, but I'm sorry, because like that is literally so stressful. Like I do not know what I would do. I'm very appreciative of the fact that I have a lot of time available, but kind of the best thing that I have picked up on, like just having work and having like my social life and stuff like that, I still keep myself on a schedule for school. And kind of what I say is like, if I have this day to do absolutely nothing, I'm going to grind out everything that I have to do for that online class so I can be done with it all week. Like, for example, I have an assignment due on Wednesday today, but what I did is Monday, all my assignments came out, so I did literally all of my work for the entire week. It was overwhelming, but I got it all done. If you do have a 9 to 5 job, I know this is gonna be like stressful and it's probably gonna suck, but I'm sure you have weekends available that just say like Tuesday and Thursday, like after I get off of work, those are gonna be my school days, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do school on those days. So that way I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to do whatever I need to do. I have that free time for other stuff, whether I wanna hang out with friends or I wanna clean. So I think it's just really important to kind of restrict yourself, like say, this is what I'm gonna do then, and this is what I'm gonna do then. And that way, like, you will keep on top of it, instead of like, if you don't set a boundary for yourself, you're gonna get home from work and be like, oh, like, just I don't have to do school today, you know? But if you're like, on Thursdays I do school, then you'll know I get home from work on Thursday and I gotta do my work. Do I feel the FOMO of missing the typical college experience? I personally do not, no. I have some friends who like didn't go away to a university. I mean, like most of my friends, like we all stayed in the same area, so it's not like our life is that different. Like sure, we can go to the bars around here, we can go to the football games and stuff, but it's still like living at home. I have some friends who regret not leaving, but me personally, again, back to the beginning of this video, it really is a preference thing. Like if you don't care to have that part of your life, then that's fine. And I just feel like I care more right now about getting a stable job and falling in love and having kids and being married. Like I do not care to go to college and party and be a part of clubs and have that experience. If you do, that is so amazing. Like I love people who are so involved and like happy. Like I have a really good friend who's in a sorority and like she loves it. Like I love that that's like the highlight of her life, and I know she's making so many friends and having so much fun. Like I would never say, oh, I'm better that I don't want the college experience. I don't believe that. I think it's just whether or not, you know, you feel you fit there or you feel you don't, and I just don't feel like I fit there. I feel like if I did go there, I would feel out of place, and to me that means I shouldn't try to get the college experience, you know? I also hate the definition of the college experience because like you can experience college in so many different ways. Like sure, someone who's in a sorority and, you know, going out and like being a part of clubs and like doing all that, that is sure the OG college experience, but I still have a college experience too. And I hate like minimizing that I don't have this special college experience, because like I'm still having my own experience of, you know, doing online school from home and like learning things. Like that is my college experience. But I get what the question was about, like, you know, what people call the college experience and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. But just the reason I say that is just know whatever route you choose, whether you want to go out, you want to go stay in a dorm, you want to join a sorority, you want to join a frat, whatever it is, a college experience is a college experience, and that can literally mean anything. I actually really have to leave my house. There's somewhere I need to go to right now, so we're just gonna cut this video off here. There are so many more questions though, so if you want a part 2, let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry that this is ending so abruptly, but I was supposed to leave 2 minutes ago and I have to go somewhere really important. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!